Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Tyler Perry's Sistas. So before I get started, I just want to read something off to y'all, and I'm going to direct y'all to where y'all can go, just in case y'all are not up on this foolishness that's popping off, because I don't think I'm gonna do a thoughts video on it because I don't want the traffic to come over here and foolishness to pop off over here. But because I have been following it since it popped off, I do want to address it, sort of, kind of. For those of y'all who don't want to hear this, I'm going to hopefully remember to put a timestamp where y'all can jump to the actual recap review and not have to hear this. So yeah, here we go. So basically, I follow another YouTuber who has an Instagram page and they do recap reviews, and y'all have probably heard of her, Jaylee's Corner. And so I have not seen any posts from her, but randomly today, literally like less than an hour ago, I saw a post of hers while I was scrolling. It was so random because I have not seen anything, I don't believe. Normally when I see her, it's because she has posted something under something that Bondi Blue has said, or one of the other few YouTubers that I follow that do recap reviews, right? So I was like, oh. And so I clicked the video to unmute it, and she's talking about something that I myself was watching as well. So anyway, let me just get into it and read what's going on. Some YouTube drama has popped off. So let me read to y'all what I posted on her page, and I'm going to direct y'all where y'all can go if y'all are confused or if y'all don't know what's going on. So this is what I posted. I was supposed to be watching a show to do a recap review on, which is this show, y'all. But I was watching this foolishness, and part of Wiley is another YouTuber, y'all. I cannot. And part of Wiley's response instead, and then I had to take a nap. All of this has been so exhausting. Monica is somebody who is another YouTuber who is a part of the foolishness that's going on. Monica has still not taken any accountability. The fact that Monica kept taking shots at Plez is one of the panelists that was on her show, as if you can't simply look her up and see that she is indeed an attorney, as if she has to lie about her profession in the first place, was just trifling and shady for no reason, and all a deflection. How are you on the phone with almost all of the other panelists every single day before you go live, but somehow you can never find the time to call or text her back in regards to actual business? Plez posted receipts. Monica has no receipts to post and conveniently doesn't remember the main things that happened, wasn't feeling well, and I put in parentheses, I believe that was a bold-faced lie to further CYA. Now, if y'all don't know what CYA is, I advise you to look it up, because when I was a social worker, and I do plan on getting back into that profession myself, that was one of the first things I learned on the job. Because if you don't do that, a client or even a whole nother coworker will try you. And if you ain't got that documentation, chopped. So anyway, or hasn't. Wait a minute, let me see. Monica has no receipts to post and conveniently doesn't remember the main things that happened. Wasn't feeling well. I believe that's a bold-faced lie to further CYA, Monica. Or hasn't seen Plez's very nice and respectful video explaining that she is departing from AATT. You know, because she, Monica, knows that she is dead wrong. All Plez did was put in her 2 weeks notice and all hell broke loose. And Wiley was beyond out of pocket. This is why I've said to myself that if my channel continues to grow, I'm not sure if I'd want to do any collaborations. On purpose, I haven't even revealed to my family or most of my friends that I do YouTube because of people like Monica making it seem like if it wasn't for her, nobody would want to come over to Plez's channel. I want to get subscribers who are there because they want to be, not because they are kin to me or friends with me and feel like they made my channel grow. Every few months, a YouTube war breaks out with people I'm coincidentally subscribed to 9 times out of 10. I despise the division. I despise tearing down amazing YouTubers because the other person has the bigger platform and following, and their followers are brainwashed into thinking the bully slash wrong party is right, no matter how obviously wrong they are. So that's what I said on that. And like I just said, I don't think I'm going to do a thoughts post on it because y'all, it would just be rehashing all that foolishness again. Like, it's just so stupid. If y'all want to know what's going on, feel free to just find anybody who is talking about it. Another one of the panelists is Bishop. And I think he has departed as well. Monica is trying to make it seem like the other panelists are still there, but ain't nobody really here for them. And I know that one of them in particular, who is the LGBT person, she has been losing subscribers like crazy, and she had like a few thousand. So it's like, yeah, y'all, it's crazy. It's a mess. Yeah, look up all about the tea and just look and see what the other people are saying, because there have been several lives that have been deleted. So if you don't know what's going on, you wouldn't know, because she deletes the lives, and then any lives that she keeps up, like the ones tonight, you're not gonna see any comments. The only comments that I saw, because I just so happened to catch this live, the only comments that I was able to see were from people who paid that $1.99 or $2.99 or whatever it is to join, in order to have the privilege of saying a comment and super chatting if you wanted to as well. And most of those people were reading Monica all the way down, reading her for filth, because everybody, even though they, lived for the channel before all this drama went down, they noticed that she is a fraud. She's trash for this. And Players definitely deserves apologies and everything else, because Players did nothing wrong. All that woman did was put in her 2 weeks notice. But anyway, I ain't gonna get into that no more. At least not on this video. I hope I don't have to bring it up again. But I just wanted to say it before I get into this video, because I literally, that mess was so long. And y'all, the person who she had on there was one of Jamal Bryant's ex-wives, ex-side heifers or whatever. And she didn't know what she was talking about. Then they brought Wiley on at the end, and he did the absolute most, which was the absolute least. And I was just so over the whole exchange. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the recap review of Tyler Perry's Sistas. I know y'all tired of me. I'm sorry. I'm sure somebody gonna come in and try me. So let me go ahead and help you out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do look like the female version of Cornel West. And when I have my hair parted, I look like Frederick Douglass and all these other ignorant things that's going to be said. Cool, do what you do. It is what it is. I have been bullied for the majority of my life. You are not going to phase me. My teeth toe down. My skin toe down. I have gray hair everywhere. I've been graying since I was 11. I'm fat. I already know all these things. So you can't tell me something I already know. So you can go ahead and stay trolling somewhere else. Whoever the troll is going to be, or whoever the few trolls that are going to be, who are going to somehow linger into this video, or they are somebody who considers themselves to still be a teacup. And if you know what a teacup is, then you already know what it is as far as the situation is concerned with the foolishness that I just addressed. But anyway, on to the foolishness. Y'all, so the episode started out right, and I was hoping with all my might that the dummy Andy would be killed. But yeah, they keeping her around. I'm just like, whatever. In all honesty, I don't know if y'all saw her do a video, the actor herself. She put up a video of a scenario and was like, well, if I were to do the scenario myself, how, if you were to do it, how would you think that it would end with the season coming back on? How do you think things would turn out? And she said that she feels like after this situation went down, she feels like she would be able to rush over and take the gun, take charge, and put her in a headlock, save Gary, and they live happily ever after, basically. I was like, girl, bye. Since you want to stay dumb, my scenario would have been definitely, hopefully he dead. Hopefully she shoot you and wound you, so that'll, since a slap and a punch didn't knock no sense into you, maybe a bullet would. That's just what I felt. I know I'm wrong, but I know I'm wrong. I can't help it though, because she's just so stupid for a man. All these men, I understand you in Atlanta, But there are so many other eligible bachelors. You could have been with Paris, but you want to just be with somebody who was already taken for the majority of y'all's situationship. Because I sure was about to say relationship. I had to think about it real quick. For y'all's situationship, y'all's entanglement. Girl, bye. He wasn't even no prize. Like, girl, bye. I mean, he ain't no ugly dude. I'm just saying. He is so overly possessive, and then some. It's like, why would you want somebody that anytime you look in the direction of anybody, he looking at you like, what are you talking to him for? Why are you doing this? Why is he over here? Girl, bye. So anyway, Gary on the flow. I'm hoping he did, but he's probably not. Somehow he's probably one of those crazy cats that he's gonna live forever somehow. I can't. Hopefully he dead. I'm tired, but I don't think he is. But I think he's alive and well somehow. But anyway, Jasmine setting it off. She still has the gun on her, and she's begging for her life. Jasmine is making her beg for her life and telling her to tell her that she's sorry for sleeping with her husband and cheating with her husband and all these other stuff and all that. And she was like, I am begging for my life. I am. I'm like, girl, ooh, child. I know she's an actress, but the way she be, I was like, girl, you getting on my nerves. I probably would have had to shoot you off the strength of the way you were screaming. Girl, yeah, she was annoying me. But anyway, so long story short, they get into a tussle. And Jasmine's gun jams. Andy really could have got shot in the whole face right here. She was point blank range on her. But the gun jammed. I'm like, girl, I'm telling you, the Lord was on your side. This got to be a situation where the Lord is like, you know what? I'm going to give your dumb behind one more chance to get your life right and stop dealing with this fool. If he's still alive. But if you don't, I ain't saving you no more. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved right here. Word Project Pat. I'm tired. So, y'all. Oh, Lord. So, she ended up, Jasmine is like thrown off. And so, since that messed her up so bad, that gave Andy a moment to get up. She done knocked her out. She ran out the room. She ran over to Gary. Gary ain't moving, so she ran out the room. She about to leave out of her condo. The police are there. It's 2 police officers right there. They telling her to have her hands in the air. Her hands was already in the air. She trying to tell them that somebody broke into her house and they're in her bedroom. They finally listen to her and they go in there. So they talking to the heifer. And she trying to figure out why won't they tell her what's going on with Gary. What's wrong with my fiance? Is my fiance going to be okay? Why is nobody bringing an ambulance here? Ow! I'm just like, girl, please let him be dead in the flow. Please. Please let him bleed out. Please let him bleed out and die. I'm so, like, he is one of the few people, child. Just like that child on, the Underground Railroad, woo, child. I have never wanted a child to just meet his demise so bad on a television show or in a movie in so long. I mean, it's been years upon years. And I understand he was a victim of his own circumstances or whatever, so to speak. Like, it was out of his control. I understand. He had to get along to get along. I get all of that, but Homer, if somebody had killed that child, I would have been like, you know what? It's all right. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you watched it, you understand. I can't. I'm just so glad that was a TV show. But anyway, so they keep going back and forth between everybody's drama. We already know that. So, Sabrina is in her apartment. All that stuff just went down. Jabari's still there. She trying to tell him that she thinks he needs to leave. And he like, come on, now what you mean? Why I need to leave? Why? And, you know, she told him, I think you need to get dressed, you need to leave. So she ended up going in her room. She in her feelings, and so she calls Danny. Danny is in the tub soaking with the cowboy. And a house phone starts ringing. And so he was like, is that a house phone? And she was like, is that a house phone? And apparently she has a house phone and hasn't paid the bill in years upon years, and it was ringing. And so she was like, I'm not answering that because I ain't paid that bill in forever. I don't know who could be calling me. That could be Jesus for all I know, calling me to come home. I'm not answering that phone. It could be a bill collector. I don't know who it is, but no. So then her actual cell phone starts ringing, and old boy had to tell her to go and answer it. It could be the emergency. So she answers the phone. It's Sabrina in her feelings, wanting advice from her. And part of me is like, why are you asking her for advice when this is the first real decent actual situationship? Because she don't know what she want. Like, he gotta try to help her to know that she fully wants this and deserves this type of happiness and somebody actually doing right by her. And I'm like, why you keep asking her for advice? Girl, bye, but whatever. So she was like, I need your advice. And so she's trying to explain to her, I can't talk to you right now. I'm with the cowboy. I'm gonna have to hit you back tomorrow. So eventually she got the hint and she was mad, but she, went on ahead and hung up the phone. So now they keep going back to Andy. Andy wants to know yet again, why won't they tell her what's going on with old boy? Can I at least get my cell phone? And they were like, no, this is a crime scene. You can't have nothing. So she and her feelings are mad about that. Well, the dummy is at her house. Y'all, I'm looking like the dummy. I'm over here. I can't even remember the heifer name right now because I'm just like, girl, I'm so tired. Zach's ex, Karen. Karen at her house, lounging around, can't sleep because she's feeling guilty about how she treated Aaron and how she done did what she did. She was out here thotting and bopping, and it's like, girl, you already knew you couldn't hold out, so why even deprive yourself when you know you ain't got that type of willpower? Girl, bye. So anyway, she gets a knock at the door. It's Zach. Zach wanted to talk to her for a few minutes, and he actually gave her $5,000. And he was just like, look, we have a past or whatever. It is what it is. This have had the audacity to ask him how long has him and Fatima been dealing with one another. And he was like, me and you was just having sex. Like, why are you trying to, like, basically was saying to her, we was just having sex. I don't owe you an explanation for nothing. And he politely did not tell her how long they've been dealing with one another, but it is what it is. And so she was like, what is this money for? And so he was like, I owe you money. This man said, I know I owe you like around $77,000. She was like, what? What are you talking about? So he was like, come on, Karen, don't act like you don't know. I've been with you for all these years. You have given me money. I've been staying with you. I ain't paid rent in all these years. I know I owe you around $77,000 or whatever. I'm putting $5,000 down on it, whatever. So it just got to a point where he was like, look, it is what it is. I'm going back. So he went on by his business. They are still questioning Andy. They asking her, what's going on? Who was the heifer? Eventually, that man asked her, was this an affair? So she was like, what? No. Why would you even ask me that? And I'm like, girl, you should have just went on ahead and told the truth and said, yeah, this started off as an affair. And the divorce decree still got wet ink on it. But yeah, he divorced right now. He just got divorced like 5 seconds ago. Yeah. Like, girl, bye. So anyway, she got real upset about that. And I'm just like, girl, you been getting mad about the wrong thing. When you need to get mad, you don't get mad. You should have been mad about you being dumb enough to find out that this man was married and still fool with him. Girl, bye. Like, and you'd have had all these run-ins with this heifer. You'd have had run-ins with the heifer and her goons, and you still want to deal with him? Oh, yeah. Jasmine was tired of her spirit when she saw that the heifer had a ring on. She was like, oh, and your ring bigger than mine? Like, Jasmine set it off. Oh, my gosh, y'all. It was a mess. So, anyway, so then Karen, she's still up walking around, and so she gets another knock at her door. It's Aaron. I knew he was going to roll up. I was just like, when? Just a matter of time when he going to roll up. You could tell he's obviously drunk. She was like, are you okay? And then going to ask him, is he drunk? And he was like, no, I had a little bit of drink. She was like, it doesn't smell like it. You could tell he was toe down. So she was like, I need you to sit down. Do you want some coffee? He kept saying no. She was like, look, I want you to sit down. You're in no condition to drive. Wanted to know if he drove over there. He did. He was just sitting outside and just was like, I just figured I'd just come up here. I just come on in since I was outside anyway. And so he drove over there in that condition, doing the most. He really still want to be with her and deal with her, whatever. And this fool so drunk, she went over there to try to go start the pot of coffee. This fool that sat up here and took off everything but his drawers. It was like, I just want to do right by you. I know I can do you better than him. And I was like, boy, if you don't get your drunk behind on somewhere, Get your drunk behind on somewhere. You over here going against everything that you say you believe in for this heifer. Is it really worth it though? Is it? All this drama that's been brought to your doorstep, and like I already told y'all before, I'm still not here for him after the way everything went down with him and his wife anyway. Because the way he was talking to that wife at the deposition, boy, bye. Boy, bye. And like whenever he was talking to the wife before she killed herself, the way he was talking to her, I understand you ain't with her no more, but he was just so condescending, and he gives me Gary vibes. So I'm like, girl, bye. I feel like he just gonna play that nice role until y'all get together, it becomes official, and then he Gary you. Then you end up dead and killing yourself, or he kill you like the ex-wife happened. Like what happened to the ex-wife. Girl, I ain't got time. So anyway, so the cowboy has fallen asleep. Then he got out the tub, obviously, probably did some things, and now he's asleep. So Danny has gone into the bathroom, and she called Sabrina back. Sabrina on her bed and her feelings. And so she was like, finally. So she over here venting and telling her what happened. And so she was like, girl, you need to just get over it. You need to just move past this. You don't want him. You know you want the thug and all this other stuff. And she was like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, girl, I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired of you. Girl, you not finna tell me that you are secure. You are not going to tell me that you are secure in what a relationship would be like with this man if every time you turn around, as soon as it gets a little bit closer to being serious, some kind of way you accuse him of being gay, bi, something, or whatever. And then a complete stranger told you that he saw him doing meth. Instead of you going to him, somebody who you actually somewhat know, and straight up asking him, you relied on him. And then you had Maurice to do your dirty work and drug test him. Does that make sense to you? That's the problem, the communication. You just want to go off of whatever else instead of going to the source. That's the problem. And then you wonder why stuff don't work. But go off though. Child, please. So anyway, Zach then rolled up at Fatima's house, right? And so she opened the door. She, looked like she just came back from somewhere or is about to go out. Turns out she's about to go out on a date with a baller or somebody. I don't know if this actually is a baller or somebody in real life because I don't watch basketball anymore. And I barely watch football outside of my team playing. So this could have been a whole actual celebrity. And I don't know if he really was. But anyway, before the celebrity dude, the football dude, basketball dude came, he came over there and was talking to her because they tried to talk earlier and, she wasn't really here for it. She told him to, drop off her keys and be gone and that she was going to have his stuff packed when he came. So she did pack his bag. He had like a little raggedy duffel bag, if you will. And she packed it up for him. And she was like, all right, leave my keys. You get up out of here. She kept telling him, I don't want to hear nothing. You got to say I'm good where I'm at. So she over here in her phone and you can tell she talking to somebody else. So he was like, really? So you can just move on like that? And so she was like, why do you care? What are you talking about? It don't even matter what I'm doing, where I'm going, whatever. So she starts putting on these pumps and I'm like, girl, you done went off. So she keeps trying to tell him to go on by his business, but he won't go. So he done left an envelope on her counter, keys and everything else, right? Then the basketball dude come in. So he was like, so this is what we doing? This is what we doing already? Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. Okay, cool. Whatever. And so he gonna try to get mad with old boy. I'm like, how you gonna get mad? Like, you did what you did. It is what it is. Whether she decides to eventually forgive you or not, she can do what she want to do because y'all are not exclusive and you should have communicated something with her before she even had an opportunity to try to come to you and say, I'm really feeling you even more than I thought I would. And I'm starting to let my guard down and believe in you in the process. You will go out here and you're screwing your ex like it's nothing, as if y'all aren't vibing, as if y'all ain't got that great energy. So, okay, cool, whatever. Tell me why Calvin to bust up in the house and Maurice was like, what's wrong with you? Like, he really bust up in there. Like, that's how mad he was. And so he's like, you scared me halfway to death. So he told Maurice what happened because y'all know before it went off for the season finale, He went over to her house unannounced and all that. So of course Maurice was like, okay, so did you call first? He was like, no. So he was like, really? So anyway, told him what popped off, who was there, the fact that Jabari was naked, all of this. And so he was just like, you shouldn't have went over there. Did nobody tell you to go over there? It just got to a point. Eventually, it was like, you know what? I don't know why. I don't know why I even continue to deal with this. I really like that girl, and I don't know why I can't stop liking her. All that stuff. I'm just like, boy, I don't know why y'all like each other either. I'm sick and tired. But this fool is set up here and said, I'm finna go back over there. And I'm like, why? Why do we keep revisiting this? Be done. I don't understand why Tyler Perry want to push this so bad. From the way that y'all doing what y'all doing with the character, where every time you look around, she think he gay. What is the point? If you ain't gonna never just trust that he is being honest when he says to you, I'm not interested in men. I've never been with men or whatever. Like, I don't understand. It's annoying. So anyway, he think he finna go along. He was like, y'all, yeah, no, that's what we not finna do. So ain't nobody finna wait for you to get dressed. So anyway, Karen is on the phone and she trying to call Andy. Andy ain't answering the phone. And so she's like, well, yeah, obviously you do what you're doing. So that's when he came in and he drunk and all this other stuff. I got there a little early. Yeah, he was doing the most in this scene. I was like, you don't go your drunk behind on somewhere. And then like now, what I did leave out was that the fact that after he made a fool of himself, he felt embarrassed. He had a boohoo cry. I'm just so embarrassed. I didn't want to do that. Like, he had a whole meltdown. I was like, ooh, child, it's the drunk alcoholism for me. Like, oh, no, you're doing the most. So anyway, Maurice ended up calling Sabrina and, basically told her that he knew what was going on and then actually gave her a heads up and was like, well, if Jabari is still there, you might need to go ahead and straighten yourself up and get him up out the house so you don't be looking crazy again. So she told him to leave. She went outside. This fool was still in the house. She was like, what are you still doing here? I told you to leave. And he was like, look, we started something. You really don't think we can finish? Y'all, when Calvin came over there, she was trying to tell him to get out. He was still there. Child, this fool came in, was like, you need to leave. And so they got into it. I was like, oh gosh, no. When I tell y'all, Sabrina was over to the side like this, looking at Jabari like, please leave. I was like, girl, he about to make the thug come out of him. I was like, no, but at the same time, like, people try to misjudge the nice people, thinking that they ain't gonna be able to bring something to the table. They might be the one to surprise you in the fight. I don't know. Calvin might be able to throw down, but the way Sabrina was sitting over there like, please just go. I was like, girl. But anyway, so Jabari went on ahead and gave him that shoulder check real quick. I was like, oh my gosh, I ain't seen nobody do that since I was like in elementary school, right before a fight was about to pop off. I was like, that is so stupid. But anyway, y'all, so this fool did all of that just for her to be like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm so sorry. He was like, no, see, you always do this. You never believe me when I tell you that I'm not gay. You never believe anything I tell you. He done set it off, and she was like, well, I mean, somebody told me that they saw you doing meth. And he was like, what? Child, he was done. He was like, you know what? I'm tired. I ain't got time for this foolishness no more. He was done. And so she was trying to beg him to stay. That man closed the door and left. I was like, that's what you get. So anyway, Fatima then got back home from her date. The baller dude thought he was finna get some. And she was like, yeah, I'm tired. I got a long day to work tomorrow. He was like, they ain't never stopped you before. She was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Don't forget your coat. You can leave now. So, y'all, I'm about to say Jabari. Not DeVale. Not his real name. Why am I saying this man's real name? Zach called her and wanted to talk. Well, I think she called him and was like, what is this money? Like, why did you leave this here? And you left the alarm to the truck here. So she ended up calling him. He was sitting in the truck because she had to tell him, because he had left the truck keys. Like, I'm leaving the truck. I ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm kicked out of the program now. She had to tell him, like, why would you even think that I'm that type of person? I'm not gonna get you kicked out of the program just because you and I didn't work out. And I was just like, I can't stand when people do that. Like, that is so stupid. I understand that Karen is very toxic, just like you are in your own right. But Fatima has been 100% everything. Like, despite you getting arrested and all this other, like, even though it was bogus, the fact that you got arrested and she still popped up and set it off for you, despite not knowing the real situation at first, boy, if you don't go somewhere and sit down. So anyway, they were on the phone talking, and he was like, have you ever been confused about something before? And so it just got to the point, she was like, look, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to deal with nothing. Come get this money. And so he kept saying, no, I stayed there, and, I'm just giving you money because I stayed there. It is what it is. I'm not coming to get that money. It'll just be there. So she was like, well, I'm going to post it. I'm going to tape it to the front door. So he was like, don't do that. Are you crazy? Why would you do that? Somebody will steal it. She was like, well, I advise you to come over here and get the money then. So, it kind of was a situation where he ain't had no choice but to go ahead and do what he was going to have to do. Child, I'm so sick of these people just... So I think I done jumped ahead, but not really. It don't even matter because it's just, I basically have just been saying what has happened in all throughout each scene and all that. So anyway, when he went to get the money, he took the money off the door and he knocked on the door. Fatima let him in. He was trying to explain himself again. It was like, have you never been confused about something before? And so he basically was like, I want you and I won't care. So she was like, see, you can get up out my house with that. So he was like, no, I'm telling you, I'm confused. Like, have you never been confused before? Do you not understand what I'm saying? And so she trying to act like she understand where he coming from. And then he wanted to know what she has been talking about because she'll start to say something, but then she'll stop. So basically she was like, well, I was telling Andy that, I met this guy and that I thought he was great. And I thought that we could have something. But, she didn't know it was him. It is what it is, y'all. I'm just so sick and tired. But, he was just like, see, I never knew that. And she's just making it seem like, I don't want nothing to do with you. You can get out. I'm good where I'm at. And so, y'all, back at Andy's house at the end of the episode, she sitting up and tells him, why won't y'all let me see him? I want to see him. Is he okay? Why is the ambulance here? Whatever. And so they were like, well, you can see him. So she was like, no, what are you talking about? I don't want to see him all bloody. Like, is he okay? And so the man thought, the police officer was like, he's not bloody. And I'm looking like, what you mean he's not bloody? Like, did he have on a bulletproof chest? Like, skin or something? Like, what? Because he was, like, his chest was out. So did they clean him up? Like, I really don't think this fool did, and I'm mad about that. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed the recap review of Tyler Perry's Sistas. If you want to know what's going on with that drama, all y'all got to do is look up All About the Tea and look at what everybody else has said, because she has conveniently deleted all but the live that happened last night because she wants to monetize from it. And it's basically in her favor because she is friends with Jamal Bryant's ex side piece, and Wiley was on her side for no reason, even though he don't even know what's going on. And yeah, so the drama done popped off, is doing the most, and I ain't here for it. Y'all have a good one. I will see y'all later on for something else. Talk to y'all later. Bye.